Does anyone remember the Willy Wonka experience in Glasgow or the infamous Fire Festival? Well, today I am going to give you another example of an event that was promising mystery and wonder, only to provide the most depressing experience humanly possible. The A Million Lives Book Festival happened the first weekend of May in Baltimore, Maryland, and it was described as a magical festival for book readers, specifically in the romantasy genre, which I have just recently learned is a combo of romance and fantasy. Now, for book lovers in that genre, people who maybe love to cosplay, really recreate the books that they're reading, you could get tickets. They were anywhere from $50 to $250 for attendees for a 2-day festival. We'll go on their website first. I gotta set the scene before I show you what was delivered, okay? So these are the different tickets. So Page Turner, Cloud Walker, Dream Maker. Okay, so Dream Maker's the VIP one. I'm gonna read these specifically because I'm then going to show you what was delivered, okay? Page Turner. This ticket includes access to our vendor hall. Okay, remember that. So they get a vendor hall, cosplay meetups, and content creation room. So that's all you get for $50. Okay, but that's big. You meetups, content creation room, that's probably pretty cool. Then you go up $150. Access to the vendor hall, the cosplay meetups. This one gets panels and a swag bag, and then the content creation room. So panels and event swag bags are what the Cloudwalkers got. Okay, and then you move up to the Dream Maker, and the only thing that you get more in that. Oh no, I didn't realize this. Oh, this makes it so much worse. Okay, so only the people who paid $250 got access to the Lavender Romance Ball. I thought everyone got access. Oh, that is horrible. Okay, you will soon understand why. So this event was put on by a group called Archer Management, and specifically a girl named Grace, who I will introduce to you later. She was the event coordinator. She was literally the only person running this event.
You're ugly. You're disgusting. I'm going to kill you. Give me $200.
A lot of indie authors found out about this because they were emailed getting asked, like, hey, would you like to be at this event? I think around 120 authors went to this event. So they flew in, they brought their products. They were all set up at the vendor hall. They bought their books and then set them up to then sell. So it's a big deal, a big lift for an author to do this. But they were honored, they were excited. And again, they were told 500 to 600 people would be there, okay? Only to find out that 80 attendees total were there between the 2 days. So that's the approximate from the authors on the ground. So many more authors than attendees, which is a recipe for disaster. But at least, even though the numbers were not turning out well, perhaps the event could still be fun and good. So here's the first video that went viral. For the people who paid $250, or the authors, I think they were both invited to this. This was what the final night's big festival event was.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
This is one of the authors who documented her experience. Guys, this is no joke, okay? I've watched the many, many hours of these people giving their play-by-play, 4-part docuseries as to what happened here so that you don't have to, but I will summarize. Again, this is the Lavender Romance Ball, okay? There's nothing there but a few poor humans who were looking forward to this. These women came dressed to the nines in their romance attire, they were obviously hoping for a whimsical, magical evening. And they probably spent a lot of money on their outfits too. There's that component to this. Only to get the same conference hall as was the vendor hall hours earlier, okay? No decor, nothing. You could go to Dollar General and get better decor than literally nothing. It's one thing if you tried and everyone was unimpressed by your decor, we demand more. They didn't even do anything. If you have nothing to offer, turn off the lights. Make it feel whimsical. Make it feel mysterious. You don't know what's to be around the next corner. We can see that you have nothing. At least hide it. There's something that lighting does a lot. At least turn off the freaking lights.
Did they have any description of what the ball was supposed to be like beforehand?
No. See, these are all clues that this is a lesson for future people. When the website looks like it was made on Canva in a whopping 5 minutes, and there is a very vague description of literally everything. Be warned, beware. Maybe don't go. But regarding the speaker, specifically the speaker named Steve.
I am Steve.
There was no DJ, okay? The event runner apparently knew there was no DJ coming, whether this DJ was in the hospital or something, or she just never found a DJ. But other girls who were then made aware of that sent her DJ information from other DJs in the area. Like, hey, we found you someone because, they thought they were trying to help because last minute something had happened to this DJ. And then that girl never went and got those DJs either. So by the time the night came, there was just no DJ. The little Bluetooth speaker was apparently brought by a security guard who felt so horrible for these women that he went and grabbed something like out of his car.
What is that? Oh, call him DJ Roomba. Little guy cruises around and plays music. What's hot, DJ Roomba? DJ Roomba, turn it up!
This was the pinnacle of the event. So this should have been the best. So if that gives you foreshadowing of what the rest of the event was.
Look at all this floor space.
This is the ball, okay? I don't know why there's a giant, like as if they were all gonna sit in this medieval dinner setup, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking that's maybe why the chair. No, this is the ball night, and then there's just tables.
Oh no! Our table!
She sprinkled some rose petals on like the middle table and set up some books that apparently those books were from authors who basically had to give their books away because they didn't have swag bags. The swag bags that were promised, no one got swag bags. And so authors then had to just give up their own books because they didn't want the guests to be so sad because the swag bags from the event people were not delivered on. And again, the authors were what tried to carry this event, not the coordinator. The authors just felt so freaking bad for these sad attendees. They're like, here, have a free book. It's so evil. The second you know that not a lot of people are coming, cancel the event. Cancel it before these women freaking flew around from across the country to come to this event. So much money was spent outside of those numbers too, which is what's so mean here. One girl said, even Dwight put up streamers when he decorated for Kelly's birthday. I mean, even Dwight knows how to decorate a little bit.
Why have you chosen brown and gray balloons?
They match the carpet.
Not a single ballroom was harmed in the making of this event. It was a conference center. At least put it in something that looks pretty so you don't even have to do any decor. Oh no, the Detroit Bridgerton ball all over again. Now this, I keep seeing this reference. I kept seeing DashCon, which was a Pinterest thing from 2014. The Willy Wonka experience, fail, the Bridgerton ball, and Firefest. This was the Detroit Bridgerton ball.
Where it went wrong was the lack of structure and just for the amount that people paid to be there.
Okay, at least the hall is prettier, okay? That's one promising thing. They have nice chairs. It's the lighting again. Turn off the lights at these events. If your event sucks visually, dim the lights. That doesn't look horrible, okay? It doesn't look good. But some people spent $1,000 to
The DJ was mediocre. There was no orchestra, live music, nothing really happening. There was a random stripper pole in the floor.
They literally put a stripper pole. This is the most what a Detroit random thing to do. We're gonna assume that the Regency era just had strippers and stripper poles.
She was a fairy.
Shocking, horrifyingly bad. Again, the DJ here is not doing anything. At least there was a DJ. So yeah, I do see the equivalence. Someone else said it's a fantasy ball, as in use your imagination, I guess. Yeah, pretend. These romantasy stories are all pretend anyways, so maybe they just wanted you to live in your head. I don't know. It's so sad. Apparently the fantasy ball did have some snacks. They had lemon bars and a couple macarons, but they definitely did not have anything healthy, which is why they could really use some balance of nature. Now imagine trying to eat 31 different fruits and vegetables every single day. That sounds miserable and a waste of time, just like this event was. But with Balance of Nature fruits and veggies, there's never been a more convenient dietary supplement to ensure that you get a wide variety of fruits and veggies in every single day with 31 different whole fruit and vegetable ingredients. Balance of Nature takes fruits and veggies, they freeze dry them, turn them into a powder, and then put them into a little capsule. Then all you have to do is take your fruit and veggie capsules every single day, and your body knows exactly what to do with them. Now, when I'm on the go, I don't always have time to meal prep, eat healthy, have a balanced diet. So that is why it's so easy to travel with Balance of Nature and just make sure that I'm taking them every single day. They have been a staple in my supplement routine. If you guys want to give them a try as well, you can go to balanceofnature.com and use promo code Conrad for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. Plus, you get a free bottle of fiber and spice. That's balanceofnature.com, promo code Conrad. Try out that Balance of Nature. Get healthy. Feel better than how I feel talking about this sad event. This is the vendor hall. Okay, so back to what we were promised. So the page turner, again, you got cosplay meetups, content creation room, and vendor hall. Okay, so that was $50. And then you got event swag bag, panels, and then the cosplay meetups, content creation room for $150. So this is the vendor hall, okay? The vendor hall is packed with, again, apparently 120 authors were there, and they set up their beautiful little tables. They went all out, but this was only the authors doing this. So again, the event still has done nothing but provide tables here. And there's no people. All this effort and no bodies to shop and look at these art. It's so sad. The outfits make me so sad. Girl, this is so depressing. A sad prom. It was packed with hundreds of warlocks wearing invisibility cloaks. Again, just pretend in your imagination and it's fine. Those poor introverts finally decided to leave their houses, and this is what happens. They're never leaving their houses again. I mean, again, truly, this is like a big experience for people. Like, they're finally going out. They're going to meet their fellow, like, romantasy lovers. Traumatizing. And though, I was so deep into the fantasy genre. A lot of the books are very smutty, okay? So this is, I'll just say that. And so some of the authors had very smutty vendor stands. So little knickknacks and things that you could buy that were just not family friendly, okay? Other authors and attendees thought it was age appropriate and like kids were welcome. And so kids were there. And then the authors that had that stuff were like, wait, we were told this wasn't a kid event. So they had like lewd things. I've learned so much about fantasy also. And like the women and the authors that you think are like innocent, sweet girls have the most lewd, vulgar books. Like, oh my gosh. It is quite the world that is. And then this one girl had a little like cookie jar and it was like, please open. And then you open it and it's just full of condoms. It's like, so you're ready for fantasy at any time. I mean, I'm like, oh my gosh. But kids would have been like, oh, snacks, you know? Ah, gosh. I learned too much about romantasy for this episode. Not interested. You know, we talk about the panels that you got if you spent $150 and the content creation hall that you got, or room that you got for all of the versions, okay? So this was the content creation room. A literal, just a room. Not a single item of decor. And they called that the content creation room. I guess you can create content in that room. You can create any content your heart desires. If you bring the decor, if you bring the stuff, imagine that.
What was the point of that room supposed to be?
I can imagine there's a world where at least there's a backdrop, like minimum, you know? They wanted you to create content.
Or even a tripod for your phone in there.
Anything. You know? Literally anything. It's shockingly bad. I can't imagine the first person who walked in there was like, I spent $50 to walk around that vendor hall and use this room. Oh, and then on day 2, content creation room closed. Yeah, it was supposed to be the only room like open both days other than the vendor hall. They closed it because it was nothing. People were pissed. But the second tier, again, the $150, can also get access to panels. Okay, so panels, I mean, vague, but maybe panels could be cool. So they had like a BIPOC panel. They had like a, I forget, they just had a bunch of kind of like woke panels about like, you know, teaching. I don't even know what they're teaching, but they were teaching in this room. Okay, so there's a room. Everyone looked close because, you know, these photos are few and far between. Everyone was seated on the ground because not only did these panel rooms, it was disorganized, authors showed up late, it was just chaos, but then they didn't even have seats to sit in. So if you did somehow find enough people to come attend your panel, everyone was sitting on the ground. And that was the 150 tier. That's what is mind-blowing. The more that I like think about who paid what for these experiences, $150 to literally sit on the ground and listen to someone talk. There's a video of this one girl, the narrating panel. I mean, Precious Angel, like she tried, okay?
Come on in. Sorry, we're kind of just getting cozy. We're waiting for chairs if they show up.
They never showed up, okay? This narrator had to do her narrator panel with no chairs.
Unique finale. We're just rolling. How many book events can you go to and say, you know what, I sat on the floor and listened to a crowd of narrators?
So sad. And then this one, okay, there was another panel. There were singers. The secondhand embarrassment I feel. I'm angry. I get increasingly angry about what all these awkward experiences that these people who probably already don't like awkward scenarios had to go through. First live performance in nearly 2 years. They're never going to perform live ever again. They had to just sit. They didn't have audio equipment, okay? We don't know if there's anyone even in the crowd behind this camera shot besides this person. There's probably not. There were like a few people that attended every panel. Evil. Good job, girls. You sound great. This is just unfortunate for you, okay? It's not your fault. I was there and didn't even know you were there. Yeah, no one knew the panels were happening, okay? There was no like loudspeaker, no list. Some people were on like a Discord and knew that events were coming up. Other people who didn't ever know about the Discord had no idea. I mean, it was just a cluster F. In the Fire Festival documentary, Billy McFarland said that the box of keys for the villas were lost, when in reality, they were never booked in the first place. The swag bags and badges give the same. They didn't have wristbands or badges. Also, nothing about an event was had at this event that people paid money, except for the money, like that was spent. So the swag bags, again, gone, no swag bags. The people who paid $150, $250, badges, wristbands, any kind of identifiers showing that you're even part of the event, non-existent. They didn't even have signs the first day, so no one knew. It was just horrible. So eventually, okay, it all came back to one woman named Grace, okay? So every single person, every author had contact with Grace. She was the one that emailed them originally, inviting them to this event, painting it as this really cool event. Everyone paid their deposits. Some people paid a year and a half before this event. So it had been plenty of time to execute a proper event.
You were this close and you blew it.
So she failed. She failed completely. And she finally posted this video because during the event, people were making TikToks being like, holy crap, I can't believe I wasted my money. So this is her apology video.
Hi everybody. I am wanting to issue a formal apology. I do understand that the ball tonight was not set up to standards.
No, Grace, it wasn't not set up to standards. It wasn't set up. You missed the part where you set up a ball at all.
There were a lot of issues with getting set up and it was not set up
No,
well.
it was not.
I want to apologize. If you would like a refund, please contact me and I will issue a refund immediately. Thank you.
Now, I have heard everyone is contacting for a refund and not everyone has gotten one. Like, not even close. I don't know. I actually haven't heard of anyone specifically having gotten one yet. Maybe that has changed, but everyone's reaching out because they're like, yeah, we want our money back.
What would their money even go towards?
Well, my fear is that they don't have the money to give back. Because a lot of these people gave the deposits, again, months, if not years in advance. And apparently she also hosted another event a couple months ago that was a decent event. So everyone thinks the deposits actually went to that event instead. Yeah. Which someone was commenting on my best guess. She used the A Million Lives pre-sale artist funds for her event last year, which was a good event. Then didn't have enough money for this event, so was going to use the October event to cover it, which she has another event planned for October. So she was, I guess they're hoping she gets that October pre-sales to go to this event, which she didn't successfully do. Classic Ponzi scheme. Yeah, the October event has been canceled because this went crazy viral. So suddenly she had to turn off everything and cancel everything, which is good, frankly, because it does feel very Ponzi scheme-ish. Sorry, Grace. Your time's up. Maybe host an event with help besides yourself. There was like one volunteer running the registration booth. That's literally it. If they had hundreds of people, that would have been even worse, you know? The more attendees just let down. Now, there are discussions of small claims court and beyond. I don't know exactly the current status of anything legal related, but I do know that people are angry and they want justice for the waste of money. And again, they had rooms spent on hotels that the hotel blocks then were not actually delivered on. There was just money spent everywhere, and it's very sad for everyone who seemingly got scammed to some degree. Honestly, though, the silver lining here is that these small authors have now gotten the widest, largest possible audience ever to watch these videos. Suddenly, they have thousands, if not millions of eyes on them all of a sudden to hopefully be able to promote their books and talk about their art that they wanted to talk about at this event to the audience of none. But now they have the audience of millions of people who are very much invested in this story. It went so viral that some people are starting to accuse the authors of doing this all on purpose for PR reasons, which is not true, but I do understand how people thought maybe it... People have started stitching it now, and then they just chime in and be like, and this is my new book, because like they're just trying to be like, please, please, this one's so bad. As for the event coordinator of this whole thing, this is a perfect example of overpromising and not just under-delivering, but failing to deliver anything. So just remember, if you ever plan on hosting an event in this day and age, TikTok will not let you get away with that kind of behavior anymore. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video if you enjoyed it. And last but not least, if you want more content, you can also follow me on my personal accounts, as well as our new comment section Instagram. See you guys in the comments.